It is 6:49 in the morning, and I just went to go to Wawa to get my morning Diet Coke. Don't judge me. Anyway, I was walking to the door, and a man was walking to the door also. And this man stopped there and made me open the door. And I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you're a man. The man should open the door for a woman. And I couldn't believe that he just stood there and like wanted me to open the door like I was the man. I don't know, it's 6:50 a.m. and I'm just like, that's insane. Like, this is the generation of men that are out there. Like, they don't even know how to open a door for a woman. I don't know, oh my God, I just had to make this video because it bothered the hell out of me. What if I didn't open the door? We're just going to stand there and have like neither one of us are going to open the door? Crazy. Just crazy.
Damn, fam, the nerve of this queen. She just objectified that man. That king was giving her a dose of equality. He just stood there and let her be strong and independent. What's the problem there, sister? Didn't you include in the video that your arm is broken or something? I mean, if you got a handicap that you couldn't open the door, I would understand. But it seems like you didn't have one. Sounds like you actually ended up opening the door. That is a true modern man there, letting you show that you can do whatever a man can do. Sorry, sister. This is not the era where you can pick and choose when to be traditional and when to be modern. Nope, you queens wanted equality, you got it. The full package. No takebacks. And I know that my male viewers are going to ask, why are these queens making these TikTok videos trying to call out something as ridiculous as this, as if it was wrong? I'm sorry there, queen, but that man was not going to make you look too weak to open up a door. Next thing you know, you women are going to want men to stand up and take off their hats when you walk into the room. Sorry, you were all on board with womanism when you wanted to get rid of the patriarchy. And now it is deleted and buried. Congratulations. You got the world you wanted. And you're all learning the hard way, the lifelong lesson that men have always known. Equality is a total B. Moving on.
Why does a man leave a woman that loves him and has been with him for years for a woman he just met and actually ends up marrying her? Honey, I have the answer, and I think I nailed it. It is because you know him. You know his flaws. You know his weaknesses. You know that you made him into the man he is today. You knew him before he became who he is now. Therefore, he feels weak in your presence. And that is a lot of men. I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men. And this is based on psychology. Men get weak in front of the woman that helped them become who they are today. So he turned around and took a woman that knows nothing about him and knows him as the strong man he is today.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Wow there, my young queen. You say that this is based on psychology. I say it's based on horse dropping. All right, let me get this straight. The men who leave the women who built them up. First of all, that's a minority, okay? Not a lot of men do the leaving. In fact, 70% plus of all divorces and separations are done by women, not men. Second of all, when you built him up. Okay, let me be honest. Even amongst the rare cases of a woman was with a man before he built up his money, of that small percentage, it's an even smaller percentage that the woman was the one who built him up. I'm sorry, queen. What happened is you got with a guy who was at the bottom and built himself up. Unless you're the one who went out there and worked the long hours with him, took the schooling and the training that he did, and went through the hero's journey right alongside him. And I'm not talking about you being at the house and saying, I believe in you. That's a cheerleader. That's not a builder. You can't claim that you built Jack. So why does a man leave a woman after so many years? Well, apart from that terrible answer that you gave, probably because you were a placeholder. You were seeing yourself as one thing when you really were something else. He was with you as long as it was convenient to be with you. But a guy doesn't just leave with the first girl that he meets. More than likely, he had made up his mind a while back that he was going to leave you. He was just working on his replacement. I don't know why this would shock any woman. I mean, this is exactly what women do. Apparently, that's acceptable because they're finding their happiness. But if a man does the exact same thing, he's the worst man ever. Moving on.
The first thing that men attack when verbally attacking a woman, like on a video, on a post, on Facebook or social media, the first thing they attack on a woman is the first thing that they value on a woman. Okay? So if you ever notice, like in the comments down below in some of my videos, you'll see these guys trolling. And they'll be attacking me, attacking women who comment. The first thing they go for is usually appearance and organ. The first thing that they really attack is the appearance of a woman and their organ. And they also attack the way that women expect things and the way that women are entitled. So, what do they value in a woman? Appearance and how she feels about herself. Okay, I don't mind trolls. I don't care if people insult me, because it just shows me their weakness. It just shows me what they're really saying. You know, they say a woman will always expose a man's weakness.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
What the hell is this woman going on about? Let me get this straight. If a man attacks, and apparently attack is just basically putting something out. Back to what she was saying. If a man attacks a woman, it points out his weakness. Someone in the comments, please explain this logic to this gorilla. Let me get this straight. So if a man says, hey, you got like a second chin going there, and you really should lose weight, that means that he's weak because you can't hold your calorie intake. You say the first thing they attack is their beauty, their private parts, and how they feel about themselves. Is that what men value in women, or what women value in themselves? Because men really don't care how women feel about themselves. You pointed out what you value in yourself there. I mean, beauty is number one of the best assets that women have. Women know this. That's why they're always in competition with each other as to who's prettier. And if you don't think that you're in competition with each other, then why do all of you plaster on that makeup before you hit the streets? Because you're competing with each other to attract the most attention. Number two, women's private parts. Oh, you mean kind of like what women do when they say that a man has a small little teepee? But I digress. That's a weakness for me to point out. That's what they do. Let me not mention that. And you said number three, how a woman feels about herself. That sounds like a self-esteem issue right there, sister. Men, for the most part, don't care if you feel like a super queen. They will tell you up front. If you're broke, you're broke. You may think you're worth $1 million, but you're not. You're worth about $50 of makeup, about the Walmart level cost of underwear, and maybe a dress you picked up from the women's section from Target. That's what they're gonna say you're worth. But sure, that gives you everything you need to know about their weakness. So the question is, every time you've insulted a man, and you've made many videos insulting men, was that just you placing your weakness out there? Moving on.
The amount of times I have been told that I am intimidating is insane. And I don't know what's so wrong with holding yourself to a higher standard in the sense of having boundaries and not tolerating less than what she deserves, because she knows that she can reciprocate the same and give even more than that to the correct man. I don't find that intimidating. In fact, if I was a man, I would find that endearing, and I would want to be a better man in order to attract a woman like that, because I know that that woman's going to push me to be the best version of myself, if not better, for the future family that I envision with her. And more importantly, I know that any man that came into proximity of her, that I would stand out as a man, because I know that I am making the efforts that a woman should and would be attracted to. So yeah, maybe if you are comfortable with your life and you don't see yourself as changing or wanting to evolve, you would find someone intimidating. But for the men who do want a woman who constantly motivates them to be a better man and is always there in the sense of nurturing, and they allow you to be a provider, you're going to make the effort, and she won't intimidate you. She will absolutely inspire you to be a better man. And to all my women that are fellow intimidating women, don't be ashamed to be intimidating, and don't ever force yourself to get into a relationship with just anybody because everybody else is getting married or having babies. Our time will come when it's supposed to be our time. And until then, stay intimidating.
Ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
Hold up there, Queen. You've been told a bunch of times that you're intimidating? I mean, who tells you this? A bunch of beta simps who live in their mother's basement? I mean, I'm sorry, you don't look like the predator to me. Now, unless you just checked out of an insane asylum, I don't see how you're intimidating at all. But I digress. As Queen quickly goes into, oh yeah, intimidating, and into she has boundaries because she knows what she deserves. I'm starting to think that a lot of these women that say that they're intimidating don't get told that they're intimidating. I'm starting to think that they believe that they are intimidating. I mean, if you're told that you're obnoxious, if you're told that they don't want to deal with you, if you're told, hey, listen, I'm not interested, in your self-coping, in your brain, you say, oh, that's because they're intimidated by me. That's what it means. It's not that I'm any of those things. I'm starting to believe this is what's going on in that little noggin of yours there, princess. Now, to back up my little claim here is like, if you see the progression that she's doing, she goes from intimidating to not having boundaries to men should find that endearing in her. That just tells me that she's been getting rejection. She believes it's intimidation on her part, and she just wants men to accept her for that. Ladies, a man being repulsed is not the same as a man being intimidated. Not by a long shot. And I'm sorry, sweetheart, men don't look for a woman who constantly motivates them to be a better man. That's woman speak, and let me translate that from womanese, as in, I want a man that I can nag and he's just going to put up with it. Because I believe that nagging a man to death is the best way to motivate him to become the man I want him to become. So that way I don't have to work anymore, and I could just be a stay-at-home nagging wife. And let me make this clear to my female viewers. Men, specifically the men you're attracted to, are not intimidated by women. That is a fallacy that you women cook up in your brains to cope with rejection. Nope. Let me help you out, ladies, for your copium. If by intimidate, you mean that the man wants to keep his sanity, well then yeah, you intimidate him because he doesn't want to deal with your cookie butt. But don't worry, queens, you know what's not going to get intimidated? All those cats that you're going to rescue from the animal shelter. But that's not intimidation. That's practically an ultimatum at that point. Moving on.
Remember that obscenely gorgeous girl who was like, oh, next time you're cheated on, just remember I've been cheated on too, and people gave her crap for it? Well, the truth is, and it's probably really unpopular, but I'm going to say it anyway, a lot of women who look like her do get cheated on. A lot more than women who don't fit into the quote-unquote beauty standard, because men who are attracted to, you know, women who look like a status symbol treat women like that as a status symbol. So they're dating you so that their friends think that they are a higher status. And that is not great. That is the exact way to attract a terrible man. So instead of us, like, you know, just filing everything off of ourselves so that we fit into this quote unquote male perfect beauty standard, just remember the kind of man that you're attracting like that is the worst kind.
Oh, you go there, Colleen. So let me get this straight. You said that those girls that look a certain way. Let me help you out. You mean plain Janes, huh? Anyway, yeah, those plain Janes, they get cheated on because, you know, men are so superficial, and they go for women because it's like a status symbol to look great amongst their guy friends. Yeah, that attracts the worst kind of guys. You mean kind of like when, I don't know, one of the genders looks at the other gender and says, oh, I need you to be at least 6 feet tall, have six-pack abs, make 6 figures, have 6 inches where you need it. I mean, those that say that stuff, which is the vast majority of them, that's how you attract the worst type from that demographic, right? Isn't it amazing how this gorilla can take this female advice that's being put out there as if it's a golden standard and turn it on its head? I'm talking about women who are 5s, hell, women who are 3s out of 10 will demand a guy who's 6 feet tall. I'm talking about a woman who's built like a linebacker is gonna demand a guy who's a gym bro. And somehow, some way, these same kind of females have the right to complain when men are attracted to attractive women. Now, I know she's going to say, oh yeah, but we're talking about cheating here. And men will cheat on you with a beautiful woman. Oh, so women will never cheat on you with a guy who's 6 feet tall, or a guy who's got like a Lamborghini or a yacht, or he's got a bunch of clout, like, oh, I don't know, an athlete or a musician. Colleen, please. If this really was that important to you, you'd be dating a broke, unattractive guy who's about 50 pounds overweight. Oh, I forgot. You have standards and you deserve the world. Well, guess what? The guy who cheated on you had standards too.
Fatality. Flawless victory.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.